All right. So this is where I'm going to give you an idea of how our event planner works. It's pretty simple. If you sign in through our website, which is the TorontoWeddingDJ.com, you get to the client sign in page. You click that, and that brings you to this launch page. You would be getting a username and password. Of course, both of those you can change when you're ready, and then you sign in from there. The very first time you log in, it asks if you're you and all the other fun stuff, and then it says, "Welcome to your Gravity Class Entertainment account. Please fill in your planning forms by clicking Plan My Event." Very simple, and right down here is where they mean. I set up a mock account, so this is December 27th. 2050 is when this client is going to get married. Their event type, of course, is wedding. We do corporate events as well as family events, christenings, and birthdays, and all that other stuff. But this is wedding specific. We put on a custom plan just because, and the booking status is listed as pending right now. So down here to plan my events, simple as can be, you click that and it gives you a breakdown. So again, December 27th, 2050 is the client's date. First thing that we would have here, sorry, we'll start with the tab. So it's home, that home page, my events, because I do several events for different, certain people. So I've done christenings, communions, et cetera, all the way up to weddings for some families. So the same child all the way up. So you end up being in the system under a profile with like several different events. Your profile, my profile, how to contact us directly, and then when you're ready to sign out. So down here is the access to the planning system. Your planning forms will be locked 11:59 p.m. That's December 20th, 2050. So that's 7 days before the actual event. So that goes for any event, so that it gives us time to correlate all the stuff, any music that we might not have, to set up a last consultation, our last online virtual or phone consultation to go over everything. Right? And our first tab, which is music, looks like this. You can add requests. It brings you here. So we pretty much have tons of different types of artists. You can search by artist. Bon Jovi, maybe, from artist, and that'll give you all the Bon Jovi songs that are listed in our library. Song. Sorry. Right there. You give Love and that bad name back to Bon Jovi. I figure, hey, if it's not broke. Top hits. So this is a very special one. Top 200 hits. So what this does is it correlates over the last year, the top 200 wedding hits. So if you were having trouble picking songs, you could look through here. The number one wedding song for the last year worldwide, all over the world, is "I Want to Dance with Somebody Who Loves Me" by Whitney Houston. It's hard to believe, but it's true. And it's broken down in 25. So 26 to 50, 51 to 75, all the way down to top 200. And that last song is "Beat It" by Michael Jackson. Who would have thunk it? Back up to the top. Add your own. So if there's something international or something to that effect, you can add it in here. Artist name, song title, and you can list all of those songs as a must play if possible, a dedication if there's a fraternity song or sorority song or a favorite song from your friends in college or just a family song. There was one wedding I did, and their big family song, believe it or not, was Cha-Cha Slide. So it was dedication. I had to go on the mic and just say this is a special dedication for the, I can't remember the name, but let's just say the Smith family. Let's get all you guys on out. And they all came on out to the dance floor, and we did that. There are also songs which are play only if requested. So some people don't like songs like the Cha-Cha Slide because those line dances seem a little bit cheesy. They work, but they seem a little bit cheesy to some people. So they put play only if somebody really asks for them. And it comes up right here as a must play if possible, dedication, play only if requested, and of course the infamous do not play. Um, you can also now, which is brand new, connect your Spotify. So you can put together playlists of stuff that you want to hear for the dinner, the cocktail, even the ceremony stuff. If you wanted to pick some of the prelude, we pick that with you, but you can also, if you have certain stuff over the year that we've been planning, you could put that in there as well and connect your Spotify. Every time you update it, it would click to us. So you also have special songs here, which are those first dance, father-daughter dance, mother-son dance. If there's anything like a special parents dance, also wedding party dance, and we don't do it often anymore, but the last dance. So that gives you an idea for the planning. It's very simple, easy peasy lemon cheesy. Also, we have our forms. One of the big ones is the wedding reception form. So the names, so yourself, your partner, your parents, your partner's parents, step parents, if it's important, if it's applicable, that sort of stuff. The estimated number of guests, because we need to know how much equipment to bring. If we only need two top full range speakers, two full range speakers and a bass band, or two full range speakers and two bass bands. It just gives us an idea. If we're the master of ceremonies, if the microphone is required for toast, or if your venue has that. And then just a basic breakdown of all the other stuff you could give us. Also on there is the other wedding professionals. It's important for us to have contact with the other wedding professionals as well. So if you have a wedding planner or coordinator, this does act as a coordinator for you, but you can also do a personal wedding planner or coordinator, caterer, photographer. You see at the end of it, the videographer and all the other stuff, that it comes out as a package. And that being said, when it is done, you can have your timeline to give to any of your other vendors so that we're all connected. Your ceremony information in here, the time of the ceremony name, so because sometimes it's not at the same venue. We can pick your prelude songs, or you pick your prelude songs. The song for your wedding party to walk down the aisle to. Also, the song that you would be walking down to if you're doing of course, you're signing the license, but if you're doing anything else like a hand fasting or candle lighting or sand ceremony, anything like that, we would add that in there for music for that if we're giving that. And then, of course, the recessional song where everybody's going to cheer. You're now the happily married couple. Cocktail gives you, we fine tooth comb everything in here. So it gives you the cocktail time, what room it would be in, the type of music. It's actually a drop down, and it gives you different options. And you can actually type in if you wanted a specific type that was not on there as well. And we list here if your cocktail time is starting at 5 p.m. or later. And then we get to our grand entrance. So if we are booked as your MC, this is what we would use. We would line up your couples as per um, where you're having them come in, or if you're having them come in individually. That includes the flower girl, ring bearer, any other attendants, all that stuff there. Right into our dinner type of music again that you would have for the dinner. And all of these things are just simple click, click, clicks. And if there's any specific housekeeping games or if you're doing any kissing games, our favorite game is the shoe game. You've seen it a few times. If you haven't, it's easy for us to go over. I do it a little bit different than most other people. Um, it's something I'd have to explain to you, but it makes sure that we are engaging um, all the guests as well. Next, there would be the speeches. Oh, sorry, and the centerpiece game, which is there's a lot of fun ones that I always suggest to do your centerpiece game before you do your dancing because you have people at bay. So that is where we would do it just before the dancing or just before we do your final speech or toasts where you're thanking everybody and one another and your parents and all the other people you're thanking. Um, the order of the speeches, and as you can see here, we have it listed as to the course that the speeches would come up. So parents, um, they come up at the appetizer, the best man at the salad, and so on and so forth, and break it down. I always suggest to do your toasts for 4 to 5 different people or groups. And if you make it more than that, it sort of drags on. Um, if you're doing your wedding in a church, it gives you another opportunity to have a reader if you want to include people. You just have to figure out where you're gonna to fine tune this and have people come in. Of course, then your cake cutting, etc., etc. First dances, so all your specialty dances, and when will it be? Because sometimes we do it at the grand entrance, sometimes we do it just before we open the dance floor. My new favorite thing to do is to do it after or in between toasts. So one set of parents and then the parents dance right there. It adds a little bit of variety, just a little bit of a neologism or a tip for you. Um, because you have people sitting there for quite a few hours sometimes. So it just mixes it up and gives them stuff to do. Other dances that you may have that are popular, it depends on your background and ethnicity. And also garter and bouquet ceremony or dedication is a possibility. Those are something that I see happening less and less the last few years. Some people are like, oh, when we start dancing, and that's it, that's all. Some people break it up and do the gardener and bouquet, half an hour, 40 minutes, 1 hour into dancing. It just depends. Here is your guest matrix. So when it's filled out, it gives you how many people are from what age group. So how many children, teens, 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, and 60s plus. That gives us an idea as to how to gear the music. There are people 30s, 40s, and 50s that are on their second wedding, and they have their peers predominantly as their guests. So that's that. Some people do a last dance, an announced last dance. It's always great for pictures. The other option as well is here it asks when you're leaving because sometimes people leave just before the ending, so they could do a sparkler send off and have everybody do a video of them walking down. You'll see it on my videos as well as on my Instagram. And then popular weddings and genres, you pick. So if you're fans of 50s and 60s, you click the 3 stars. There's 5 stars, and for each one, it gives you click, 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 click. Most will like Yes Please for Motown and Soul, 70s discos. It goes through most of the stuff, the 90s, the 2000s. So that would be 2000 to 2010. And then current, of course, pop, R&B, EDM or club stuff, country, of course. Soca is another big one for some of my clients, as well as reggae and Latin. If there's any other international music or backgrounds that you're from, or your parents are from, that sort of thing, this is where you would put that in. Um, and we want to make sure to include everybody. Some of the international music I suggest always doing over dinner as well as cocktail, so that everybody from the start feel included. And international weddings, joining with people of different backgrounds, is our biggest thing. That's our number one thing. Of course, we are happy and delighted to take music requests, as it says right here, but we are not going to take any, we're not going to play any music that is offensive to any guest, race, creed, religion, or anything like that. That music will not be played. Another thing is, if you have something that's on your do not playlist, I find that a lot of DJs will be like, look at somebody when they request that song at the instance. No, the wedding couple said no, and then of course somebody comes to you in the midst of your party and celebrating and says, "Hey, the DJ said I'm not gonna, I cannot hear this song." So what I do is something a little bit different, and I'll explain that if and when you book, so you don't have to worry about it. I don't throw anybody under the bus, is the bottom line. Other information. So if there's anybody who you'd like me or our team to mention, that would be in there. And then that is that. So again, that's the forms part. The names part is very self-explanatory. It just, again, who's escorted by whom. It helps you organize and set up not only your event ceremony, but everything. And then, of course, the timeline, which is the big one. And again, I said you can print that out. So here's a mock one, the ceremony at 4, and it gives you all the time. So I just hadn't put that in, but here's where it all comes in. It includes things like the group photographs receiving line, our grand march, which is our grand entrance, first dance. I just picked Speechless because they won a Grammy, and I think it's a great song. Any blessing that you have beforehand, make sure you check with your parents before you say, no, we're not going to do that. And then we set it up as a course, a toast, like I had mentioned previously. During dessert, that would be listed here, and then the specialty dances, and the dance floor is open at the bottom. So that basically gives you a simple and easy overview. It prints out on my end as a PDF because I like to save trees. So it prints out as an 8 or 9 page PDF. The good one that I always mention to my clients is the timeline. They can print that out and give that to their wedding planner or their photographer or their videographer or even the venue, so that we're all coordinating in one team, so that we all know and you know that everything behind the scenes is in sync. So that is a basic rundown of our online planner. If you have any questions, please feel free to text, call, WhatsApp 1-800-826-8014, or look us up at www.thetorontoweddingdj.com.